TESOL presents a free Friday webinars. Except today on Thursday, but we have it every Friday, no matter where I am in the world, or we have it every. We've been doing this for the last 3 years or 4 years, and we have hundreds of webinars. You can download them for free. You can get the slides for free. We do many different topics, especially ones focusing on technology. So you'll find many different types of resources for you, and you can share them with your staff, and you can get certificates of attendance. And now we even have a certification for teaching English language learners with technology. You can get that if you go to esltech.com. It's free for American TESOL members. If you're not part of American TESOL, go, you can visit, and then you can find the rest of the details. So today we're going to talk about Creative Commons for the digital creator, and how many of you can write it in the chat box, have created something online, who have created something with an app on your phone, who have created even a presentation. How many of you have created a PowerPoint and used content that's on the web? Nowadays, it's very common to do this, and when you do this, there's actually a very famous person who wrote a wonderful book that's called, his name is Austin Kleon, and he's kind of like one of the gurus about what creativity is. And all of us want to be creative. All of us have something in us that we want to share with the world, or something that we can do. So Austin Kleon, he wrote a book called Like an Artist, 10 Things He Told You About Being Creative. And notice how he says steal. And the reason why he says steal is because Austin Kleon, like many of us on the web, actually do something that's not called stealing, it's called mixing. Sort of like a DJ, you know, when you have the DJ plays the music and he takes sounds from other people's music, and then he puts it and he makes his own music with those different beats or sounds. And that's what our students, and that's what we are. We are actually the remix generation, or remix users. What we do is we take pictures, we take fonts, we take templates, we take even images, audio clips, music, we take video clips, we take them from all these people around the world, and we make something with it. We make something very beautiful. So there's a lot of free web tools that will allow you and have a library of this content. And remix means, or Creative Commons content, that's when you take other people's ideas, or you take their creation, their image, their audio, their video clip, and you use it for either presentation. And you'll notice that many of mine, my different presentations, they have images everybody else created. I didn't make these images, I just made the presentation to show you. So it's important that we all know about remixing, and it's important that we all know about how to do it properly, so we aren't pirates. We don't want to be pirates. You don't even have to be a pirate, because information and all the content is free. All you have to do is attribute. So Austin Kleon says every new idea, part of our creativity, is just a mashup or a remix of one or more previous ideas. And he actually, in his book, which is awesome, very creative small book, he says that one of the great ways to be creative is if you consume all this material, then you can get very creative, and then you take the best of all those pieces and then you can put it together. And we need to teach our students how to do that. One of the best places to do that is if you go to wiki.creativecommons.org, and wiki is kind of like that. It takes all these ideas from all over the world and makes a mashup of these ideas. So wiki sources, it even has different that you can take from Creative Commons. So we call this Creative Commons. Creative Commons means that you can make a license, and what it does is it tells the people who made the image, the video clip, or the sound. It tells them also where you can link back and you can find out more about the author or get more work from the author. So it's important that we can take this first step and we can learn more by going to wiki.creativecommons.org. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in the chat box so you can go ahead and you can put that there, Fabiana. So we have people from all over the world. Nice. Now, I also have a Symbaloo where I talk about a bunch of Creative Commons resources that you can share with students, but you can also find different Creative Commons resources. It's in my Symbaloo. And of course, you can find all of these if you go and you take Pearl Tree. So I'm going to go ahead and give you Pearl Tree so you can think again throughout this conversation, because that's the way you're going to be able to go ahead and get all of these fabulous resources. So hopefully this, and you can just click on the links. It's really important that you read the Creative Commons license carefully, because there are some things that you can use. Look for a Creative Commons license for commercial purposes. It may not be that something, but I think that if I look at something for Creative Commons and I look for the commercial, then I'm kind of safe with everything. Just in case they say, oh, well, your product is you, Shelly, and you make money from a presentation, or maybe, you know, whatever they can kind of always for images and for sound clips and stuff that will allow me to make commercially. That's kind of thing that I do because I am, and you know, I just want to make sure to be safe. So if you look at the way that I design, you'll notice at the very end, I put the photo by, I put who the person is, and then I put the URL where I received it. Now this is part of Creative Commons. I'm going to show you a very quick way to do this that you're going to say, wow, that took me no time at all to do this. So and look, I got this very beautiful image. I didn't create it, but it's very nice in my presentation. People tell me, where do you get these beautiful presentations that you design? And I tried to tell them how. I thought maybe I'll do a webinar side because I do so much remixing and make it with other people's beautiful pictures from Flickr especially, are actually in the top 1% of SlideShare. So each year over 300,000, nearly 4,000 people download my slides, and you can download the slides that you see today for free. And one of the reasons why that I get to create these beautiful things is because of different people who allow me or allow anybody to use their images for free. So I think that's really fascinating that we have this opportunity. So my secret is I use Comfite. So yes, I use Flickr, but I don't look at the Flickr images. What I do is I go to comfite.com, and then on Comfite, here you can put tags only. You type in your search. So you put, let's say I wanted to look for iPad, right? So I would put this. This is all free services, by the way, because I believe teachers, you know, we don't have a lot of money. So we want to make sure that, you know, things are free. So that way we can save money and still create fabulous things, right? So, and our students too. So you can look at any license. You highlight the ones you want. Notice how it's in black and I highlighted commercial. That's because I want to make sure that even if I have any products that a lot of times I show Web 2.0 tools, and I kind of consider that a product. So because of that, I try to put commercial all the time. I just think it's really safe to do that. Now, if your students are something and they're not, you know, they need something about like a story or anything like that, well, that's a little bit different. They're not going to have products in it. So then, yes, you can just go with Creative Commons, and that's it, not only commercial. So Comfite grabs all these images from Flickr, and there is these beautiful images then I can scroll down and I can click it and it'll jump up, and then it'll give me the link and everything. So it's really, really a nice resource. I love it. The other thing that you can do is you can go to Flickr.com, search advanced. Now, Flickr does have some video clips, so that might be nice. Well, and notice the beautiful different types of images that come with Flickr. The great thing about Flickr is every time I look at it, I want to create something more beautiful. I have to I really just look at some of the pictures and I save them. I actually, if you go to my Digo, I'm going to go ahead and give you that. I take all of these images and I bookmark them because I think that's really important as well. So I'm going to give you my Digo, and the tag that you're going to look up is actually my Flickr, because that's what I put all of these wonderful images and resources in. Now, there are some questions about video, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and give you what the video is in just a sec. So right now we're doing images, but then I'm going to go ahead and tell you how to do video. So that's a very good question. Let me go ahead and see. Oh, okay, good. It gave you the right Flickr, I think. Whew. Okay, so let me go ahead and... There we go. Okay, so when you the image, you're going to click on the image, and when you go to image, the top is where you're going to see the Creative Commons. So right here is actually where you see the Creative Commons license. You can decide which one you want. You can decide, and you can click on commercial, you can click on the Creative Commons only. There's a lot of things. So when you come to, and then it's going to blow up. To look, you want to actually click on the link so it tells you exactly how you're supposed to attribute the image. Now, usually it says that you have to say the person's put a link back to it. So that's what I like. You can click on the different sizes to upload or download the video, and then it'll put in high quality. The easiest one to really, really help you there, CogDog. So CogDog actually did a Flickr, a way to put this on your browser. So it comes out very fast and really takes me forever. I made this attribution thing. It's actually on your browser. So this is my Chrome browser, and every time I see a beautiful image like this image and I want to take it, I want to use it in a presentation and attribute correctly, then all I do is I click, and then this Flickr CC attribution helper comes up. I just gave you the link in the box on how to add it to your browser, and then all I have to do is click on this and it automatically copies the text, and then I paste it on my presentation. So see, that's very fast. You don't even, with CogDog's little tool, it makes it very nice. Now, there are other places where you can get different types of CC images. Not only do you have images with, all of these are actually in the bookmarks. I have tons and tons of places to where you could get literally access to millions of free pictures all the time. So how do you do that? Well, these are just some of the ones I'm going to highlight only because I think they're really nice, and I think the other ones have been covered. I always go to Flickr. That's my first choice, or Photo Express, and I'll show you that in a little bit. Now, sometimes Morg file has images that you don't even have to attribute. In fact, it says these are stock images, here's the image URL, the JPEG, and it tells you it's a free photo and you don't have to attribute. So there are some on Morg file that are really pretty that you don't have to do that. There's some especially for education. Okay, so one of the problems with Flickr might be if your students are learning and using it, then how are you going to go ahead and make sure that it's good for education? Well, some places, Pix for Learning kind of takes care of that problem, because what Pix for Learning does is Pix for Learning gets these images that were made specifically for for learners. So you can go to Pics for Learning, and that's something you can use with your students, because you can't really filter too much with that as well. The other one that you want to do is, of course, ELT picks. Now, if you're somebody who is teaching language learners, even if you're not, ELT picks is actually it's a of teachers, and they have gathered together, and they have created a database of all these images that you can use as teachers to teach with, but also can use, and they're friendly because filtered, they're attributed, and also teach work. These are actually of images that have been grabbed from teachers, and you can even add to it. How are you going to go ahead and make sure that all of these are, if you want to add your own images? So let's say that you have tons of images, and from vacation or anything like that, holidays, and you say, wow, I would love to share the 1,000 pictures. I wanted to do something good. I want other people to use it. What can I do? So what you can do is you can actually use the hashtag, if you're on Twitter, ELTpics. Go take a look at it, and you'll be able to add each week. They have a different theme or topic, and you can contribute. I've contributed some of Roscoe's pictures. Now, of course, all of these bookmarks you can find and much, much more if you go to the Pearl Tree. So somebody asked how I organize all these resources and links. I put all of these in this Pearl Tree. So Pearl Tree is a bookmarking service, and I'll show you at the end what it does. Let's say you don't want to attribute. Let's say you're making a digital badge and you just don't have a way to really link or attribute. Although sometimes they have that now. So maybe you need something that you don't have. Now, attribute means, remember, that you give the name, you give the URL, and you give where it came from, like if it's an image or anything like that, or an audio. So where do you want to go if you want free images that you do not have to put the name or the URL? Well, you can go to photoexpress.com. That is what I use. You get 10 stock images a day. So 10 stock images for free. You have to click add your Facebook to get that, but I use that all the time. So the ones you see that I don't attribute are from Photo Express, and I'm very much happy. Sometimes I pay $1 and stuff like that for it. There's different places where you can get clip art as well. So if you go and you can go to Open Clip Art, and that's going to give you free ones. pdclipart.org. Now there are hundreds of other places too that will give you clip art, but the reason why I do these two is because I think that these are actually the best. Open Clip Art literally has thousands and thousands of free images that you can take a search in icons, and I use this a lot for my digital badges. So these are the ones that I just think have the best clip art, and I've used many different resources, and it's a waste of time. So when I have this, I want to show you the things that are really going to work well for you. So now we're going to talk about remixing audio. Sometimes you might have a podcast, right? Or sometimes maybe you're going to do a video and you're going to make a movie or maybe a commercial, and you have this kind of a project with your students and they want audio to go with it. Well, sometimes they want to do a slideshow, and I noticed this with a lot of students, and maybe your students use this slideshow and they upload Justin Bieber, but that's not good. They cannot do that, or they put it up on a YouTube video and then it gets blogs taken down because of that. So the easiest thing you can do is use one of my favorite services, and there's so many out there, and you'll find them once again in the poultries. ccmister.org, and this is actually now a free app. You can get this on your phone. Listen to I've made lots of viral videos, and you'll see at the end of my video, it gives a link and it says buy, and they're gorgeous sounding. In fact, one of the Ed Chat and also the We Connect videos and where I've had thousands and thousands of views is actually from CC Mixture Music. So it definitely has some really, really great music. You can search the database. It's people that are barely starting in the music industry. Now, some of you may want some sounds. Let's say that you're doing a podcast and you want some sounds. Well, you can go to freesound.org. You can find different types of sounds. You can add it to the beginning of a podcast, or maybe your students are doing a podcast and they want to make some kind of sound effect. They can do that. Or if they have a commercial, like a radio commercial they're doing, they can use that. And then soundbible.com. So these are a few that have sound clips that can go with different things as well. So how are you going to remix? How are you going to take that clip and add it to something you want to add it to? Well, there's a few places. You can use GarageBand or you can use Audacity. Now, Audacity you can use on iOS as well. You can use it on a Mac. I use a Mac. But I love GarageBand. I wouldn't see any reason for, unless you have a PC, that's when you use Audacity. Because Audacity is awesome if you use a PC, but GarageBand is my favorite. There's also iMovie, and I forgot to put iMovie up there, but that's a great source as well. And I forgot to put Windows Movie Maker, but you can use that as well to remix videos and remix sound. So GarageBand is also an app, and it's a fantastic app. I love it. It gives you already some sounds that are already on there in case you want to do it that way. But you just add the sound clip to a recorded voice and you make a podcast that way. So this is a really easy way to be able to, for your students to edit and make a podcast, and then they can upload it to different places. There's also Soundation. So Soundation is actually online. Soundation is on a Google Hangout, but Soundation, if you go to soundation.com, then this is sort of the same thing as well. So if you want to do this online, you don't want to do it on your computer. Although I think sometimes a lot of times you should do it on your computer because it takes less bandwidth. So it's good to use software and stuff. But Soundation is really fantastic. They have software. And then if you want to go up somewhere, Audio Boo, which is on the website, it's on your Apple. So you can make this, and you can have a 10 minutes of an episode of something that your students can have. Or iPatio.com, which you can even record by phone. You can do it by video. I mean, you can do it for up to 60 minutes. So it's really, really nice if you need something a little bit longer. Okay, so Leo had asked a question about remixing videos, and that's what we're going to talk about now. Remix video clips. Now, this is a little bit uncommon that you do, but it's nice to remix video clips. So one of the best places I found for that, you can do it in Flickr. So Flickr has some video clips you can use, but the easiest, best, shortest way to do it is go to the YouTube editor. And the YouTube editor will actually give you different clips that you can do. If you want to remix a video, it's actually on YouTube, then you go to the bottom and you look at the license. So usually it's in the bottom of the YouTube video or under it when you go look, and then it's going to tell you this is remixable or not. But you can really easily just go to youtube.com editor and it's going to give you very short clips to use. Now, you can also, there are certain places that like Animoto or Magisto that will also allow this. To have where you can have sound effects, and your students will love it. You want to have like your students want to create like a bomb explosion or something. They can do this with their devices. So if they want to make effects like a monster comes or ghost or there's an earthquake or anything like that, they can do these. They're like 5-second clips that come here. Poor Roscoe, he's getting exploded there. But these are free apps. You can go to Quo Movie Effects, Creature Effects, and Action Movie Effects. They have all these kind of effects. And the way that you get it into your video is you can use iMovie. iMovie is a great way to, or any kind of video editor. So you just add it to your video that's already there. If you have Microsoft, and if you have a PC, then you use Windows Movie Maker, and you just take that little clip and you added it. There's some apps that actually have effects and stuff and templates and things that you don't have to attribute. Animoto is one of them, Magisto, but there's also this one that's really cool, Game Your Video. It gives you free fonts to use that people design. It gives you free effects. It lets you use templates. It lets you change your voice into a chipmunk, scary, a baby. So these are part of remixing as well. Video Editor, which is a free app to piece together different things. It's in the iTunes store. You can use that as well. And then finally, how are we going to create? So we saw how you can do video and things like that, and how you attribute. Now, the difference is if you're going to use a book and written material, well, that's something different. And we're going to talk about that in another webinar in a few weeks. And that's how to cite and do research and cite. And I'll show you really quick ways that your students can do that are super fast and awesome. And you can do it in MPA, APA, and MLA. So if you want to share your stuff, you can license your own content. You can go to creativecommons.org, and that's a great place to start and go through all this. And remember, all of this is recorded. So if you want to go back, you can always go back, so don't get overwhelmed because it's free for anybody to download the recording. So you go to creativecommons.org and you can choose a license for your own material. I have this on my blog. I have this on some of my free ebooks. It's very nice to be able to get a license and to be able to put it on your material, because if anybody ever uses it in a wrong way, you can always you can have the legal grounds to actually get them to take it off. I mean, you don't want someone using your material that you've free to share, you've used, and you post it up. So that's one way to make sure that it doesn't do that. The person that's really kind of, if you're really interested in what makes education is, and it's part of the way that we learn and create online, then one of the best people to follow for this is actually Amy Burrell. And she has spoken at my online conferences, and she's a great person to follow. You can go to her site, amyburrell.com. You can follow her on Twitter. You can follow her on Facebook as well. But most of all, I'm going to go ahead and put all of that so you can do it. But she will lead you to awesome sources. She's always creating drawings and stuff, and she gives you a lot of different things that you can do. So if you want to learn more, you can always join her Google Plus community, which is free to join. And you can join her Google Plus community, which is free to join. And you can find tons of resources there. I'm a part of that community, and Amy shares all the time. So what I'm going to do is share that one. And you can either find it on Remix Ed, or you can do Remix Ed G+. Here we go. So there we go. And then, of course, I'm going to share again where you can get all the slides and you can find the Creative Commons stuff. Now, your assignment this week, if you are taking the ESL Tech course, is just to make like a haiku deck, or to make a slide presentation. Or tech course is just to make like a haiku deck, or to make a slide presentation or something where you attribute where you got the resource. So I've given you links so you can go back and you can look and you can take what you want. So if you, for example, are doing a project and you're going to have pictures, I say that you start right there. You start there with your different pictures. And then you can teach your students that. So all of this is in a 30-minute webinar, because you can always go back and download the slides and everything like that. So if you need any help, you need anything, you can always contact me. I'm at shellyterrell.com. You can go to shellyterrell.com/webinars, and you can find all these materials as well. You can go to facebook.com, Shelly Terrell. You can go to Google Plus, Shelly Terrell, and Twitter, Shelly Terrell, or Instagram. And you can connect with me, and always feel free